Hey everybody. So this is our quick little review for quiz number 4. And this quiz is going to cover arguments by analogy and analogical reasoning, and also arguments by causality or causal arguments in terms of necessary and sufficient conditions. So you'll be given two arguments by analogy and then asked to indicate whether each additional factor would strengthen, weaken, or have no effect on the original argument, just like you did on the assignment for this, except I'm not going to ask you to justify strengthen, weaken, or no effect. It's just choose one. That's it. Then there are 7 necessary slash sufficient problems and 3 general easy ones, and just like from the book, right? And again, the analogies and necessary sufficient conditions problems, they follow the same format as the assignments you did on these concepts. So let's take a look at it like usual. Okay, so let's look at first. Actually, I always forget how I do this with you all, but let's just scroll through the whole thing. Mm, Original analogy, and then a changing factor. So notice that the analogy is not changing at all. It's the same one with just a different factor for each. Like, what if we did this? And what if they did that? And what if they did the other? Right? Still the same analogy, new factor, new factor, new factor. Then here comes the new analogy, right? So this is the second problem. Here it is, new factor, new factor, new factor, same, same, same. Just like the homework, but just in a slightly different format because this is a different format. Okay, so 2 analogies, and then just like in the work, it gave you the analogy and then went through like A through J or something. You had to answer for each one. Well, that's what's going on in these first 2 big problems. Okay, once again, I'll come back and answer a couple for you too. Then we've got a series of questions that pertain to causal arguments in terms of necessary and sufficient conditions. Right? And then 3 general easy ones. Okay, so with that in mind, let us answer a couple. So here we go. Original analogy. Remember this original analogy carried an analogical argument carries you through like 10 different variations. Okay? So Judy's considering the purchase of a new KitchenMaid dishwasher. Judy's friend Jasper bought a new KitchenMaid 6 months ago, and he finds that the dishwasher gets his dishes, cups, glasses, and eating utensils sparkling clean. Judy reasons that a new KitchenMaid will do just as well for her. How do the following facts bear on Judy's conclusion or Judy's argument, right? So imagine that, taking all this into consideration, Judy buys the same model dishwasher as Jasper's. You add this on. What if that was the case? Would the argument or the reasoning be stronger, weaker, or have no effect? Strengthen, weaken, or no effect? And the answer here is strengthen. If she gets the same exact model as Jasper's, right? We know that Jasper's was excellent, right? And it was a certain brand. And then she goes, not only I'll get the same brand, but I'll get the same exact model. Then that's going to make it more likely that the dishwasher is going to do just as well for her as it did for this guy Jasper, right? So the answer here is strengthen. So you'll have these three options for every one of the questions in this first big section. Strengthens, weakens, no effect. This is strengthens. And because I set the answers to shuffle, they won't always come at you in this, or they shouldn't come at you in this order. Just make sure you pay attention to that. Okay. So with that, let's go down to the second analogy. Okay. Connie is thinking about registering for Professor Langley's course in Italian Renaissance history. Connie's friend Lydia took that course a year earlier and got an A. So Connie thinks, hey, I'll get an A too. How do the following facts bear on Connie's conclusion, or Connie's argument? Now you add that Connie is at least as bright as Lydia. So Connie knows that Lydia took that class a year earlier and got an A. Right? She said, well, if Lydia took it and got an A, then I can got it. I can get an A too. But then you add, yeah, and Connie's at least as bright as Lydia. That is adding a relevant similarity, so that's going to strengthen the reasoning here. And strengthen. Okay. One from each of those we did. Now let's go down to this. So just as a brief let you know, you're going to have four options for these in each multiple choice section. You can have necessary, sufficient, both necessary and sufficient, or neither necessary nor sufficient. So let's try. Taking in calories is a blank condition for staying alive. So let's think through this. If you take in calories, then you can stay alive. Is taking in calories or eating the only thing you need to stay alive? Is it sufficient to keep you alive? No, because you have to breathe, for instance. So taking in calories is not a sufficient condition for staying alive. Let's see if it's necessary. Do you have to take in calories in order to stay alive? Yes. So there's your answer. Necessary. So notice you'll get these same four choices for every one of these problems, but they might come in a different order. I wanted to point something out to you, something for you to think about. Let's look at this one, right? Hearing a joke is a blank condition for making you authentically laugh or really laugh, not fake laugh, right? Let's I'm not going to show you the answer to this, but let's reason through it together. If you hear somebody tell a joke, does that make you genuinely laugh all the time? No, you can hear a crappy joke, right? And so it's not sufficient to make you genuinely laugh. It's not enough. Another thing, do you have to? Is it necessary to hear a joke in order to make you genuinely laugh? Like, can't you genuinely laugh at all sorts of other things? Just, I don't know, somebody tripping on a banana peel or something silly like that? Yeah, sorry. You don't have to. It's not necessary that you hear a joke in order for you to authentically laugh. There are many other ways things that can make you authentically laugh other than hearing a joke. So hearing a joke is not necessary either. So we said it's not sufficient, It's not enough to make you genuinely laugh all the time. You don't have to hear a joke in order for you to genuinely laugh all the time or authentically laugh all the time. So, what does that? It's neither of those. So, what does that tell you about the answer? Okay, everybody. Um, cool. That is it. And good luck, everybody.